Aloha, and welcome to Betty's Real Estate Corner. Or wait, last week we renamed it Roy and Betty's Real Estate Corner.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we did, and I forgot already, but I thought that would be kind of fun because it's become Roy and Betty's. Maybe it's Betty and Roy.
Yeah.
Where
Okay.
Roy and Betty always sounds
I'm good
better.
with that.
So
Sure.
Well, something like that.
Okay.
So here we are again, and we're going to have a nice half-hour show to talk about real estate, talk about tsunamis, talk about everything that's been happening. For all of us right now, the last 24 hours has been somewhat painful. At least to me it was. You know, listening, trying to figure out what was going to happen. We were in a safe location, but still it was frightening, you know, from where we were to be able to look down toward the water and not know what was going to happen in the next half hour. By the time we were waiting, I thought it was very scary, very scary.
Well, it is. You know, any tsunami warning you've got to take seriously. And, you know, what's interesting, though, we had Kenji, a good friend, business associate in Japan, texting us from Japan and what was going on Hokkaido Island and so forth. And they were expecting fairly good-sized tsunami waves there in Hokkaido. And I think he texted, it ended up being 0.3 meters, which is about a foot, I guess, in water rising. So, but it was interesting, and he was texting me from various parts in the tidal currents and so forth from various parts in Japan. Japan being much closer to the epicenter of the earthquake, you know, it takes, I think it took like five hours plus to get to Hawaii, and much faster to Japan. So anyway, it was interesting. Just the whole Pacific Basin was on alert.
It really was. And I think for everybody, it's scary, no matter where you are.
Yeah, the whole west coast of the U.S., Alaska, Canada, Oregon, Washington, California, all in alerts. So, and my understanding is really as far as Chile.
Well, I hadn't known that.
Yeah.
We have kids in San Diego, in L.A., and Portland.
Yeah.
And they were all on alert in one way or another. Maybe not Portland so much, but they were definitely watching.
Well, in Oregon, yeah.
Were they?
Yeah.
I hadn't really gotten that far.
Well, Portland's not on the coast, so
no, I know.
They weren't affected, but you know, the coastal cities in Oregon were affected, sure.
So everything really was.
Yeah.
Well, it was a hard night for all of us, I think, and we actually, by the time we went to sleep fairly early, or I did, and I was awake a lot, you know, so that it wasn't a nice sleep. You'd wake up and kind of wonder, look out, and look down toward the water. It just, you know, hard to see anything, very dark.
No,
but it just was scary.
We dodged a bullet.
We dodged a bullet.
Yeah. So, I mean, hopefully, you know, we'll be more prepared for whatever happens next time. And sure as heck, it'll happen again sooner or later.
Well, I hope that we always get the same thing, that nothing happened.
Yeah.
And we should all feel good about those. When that happens this way, it does kind of, I think you're so fired up for something. And when it doesn't happen, I mean, you couldn't be happier. Everything is great.
Oh, absolutely.
But it really is just still terrifying. So anyway.
Yeah.
So today's another day.
Yeah, I heard somewhere that this was the 5th largest recorded earthquake in history.
Really? I didn't hear that.
Going back to like 1910 or something like that.
The original earthquake that started all of this.
Well, this one.
I mean, this one,
This latest one, yeah. Right.
I didn't know that. I kind of heard something, but that's by itself terrifying.
At 8.8, it's a biggie.
That's a biggie.
Yeah.
Oh, my. Well, here we are. Another day, and hopefully...
And we're getting closer to the 2-year anniversary of the Lahaina fire. Speaking about disastrous things that have happened. And, you know, Lahaina has been fairly quick to recover in some ways and very slow in other ways to recover, especially the commercial areas, downtown Lahaina. It's great to see the residential homes being rebuilt, and hopefully that continues, and the county will fast track these homes getting rebuilt.
I hope they do start to do a little bit more fast tracking. When it looks from the road like there's so much happening, if you drive up into the Waiakuli area, still a lot of vacant.
Well, if you drive,
places.
throughout, there's a lot of vacant land, and there's unfortunately quite a few vacant lots coming on the market. People either not wanting to rebuild or can't rebuild or whatever, and to me that's kind of unfortunate.
That really is. It's horrible for so many people that really never thought that would happen. And I think it is, in a way, a lesson for each of us. We should all check on the insurance that we have for that, because I think it would be hard, whatever the home is that you have today, if your intention would be to rebuild that home, I think it's time to seriously look at that,
Yeah,
the cost.
by the same token, some of these homes were just about uninsurable. So it's,
Yes.
it's difficult. If you have a 900 square foot old plantation house that was put up in 1930 or something, and trying to get insurance on that, you're going to have a minimum insurance coverage. Building costs today are what, $400 or $500 a square foot to rebuild anything. So,
Excuse me, is it possible to insure the cost of rebuilding? I mean, it probably is.
For the right, I mean, you can insure anything for the right amount of money. But if your premiums are going to be so high that for an old 1930s, 1940s plantation-style house, it's tough.
Well, I would think if you look back at Dad's house, your mom and dad,
Yeah.
and whatever the insurance they had on it, I'm not sure they wouldn't have ended up in the same spot, if their house had burned down. And
Yeah.
it did burn down,
It did burn down.
but they didn't own it anymore.
No, and I'm sure if they did own it, it would probably be underinsured.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
anyway,
think our home is probably underinsured. I don't
Well,
think we'd build the same home.
no, but
if it
compared
burned
to
all the way
building
down.
costs today, costs have really risen, especially over the last 2 years, and more so if tariffs kick in, as far as nails and lumber and so forth out of Canada. Wow,
It's a frightening thing.
yeah.
One of the things we were talking about driving over was, the idea of the 2 years. It is basically almost exactly 2 years since the fires. And a lot has happened, a lot hasn't happened, but there are a lot of things coming up right now in the near future by the time that does happen, the 2-year mark. The Lights of Lahaina, Wilmont, KAOI, I probably pronounced that wrong again. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but I was close.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Wilmont, if you're listening to this. But, we're working with him somewhat, as maybe a minor sponsor or doing what we can do.
This will be in September, early September, and it's called Lights of Lahaina, and it would be a way of honoring Lahaina. It's not a sad memorial or anything. It's going to be more upbeat, and we'll supply more information as we get closer to the date when this is going to happen in September.
What else do you know about it? Because I know so little.
Well, on the actual date, August 8th, I guess there's a thing planned at the Civic Center with some music, and I'm not sure what else. There's been a lot of talk about what's planned, but I haven't seen much concrete, so we'll see. But there will be some kind of an honoring of Lahaina on August 8th.
When you drive out of Lahaina, on the left-hand side, there's kind of an area where they have a cross and something for each of the people that died in the fires.
The 102 people.
The 102 people that passed away. And when you look at that, it really does. It's very sobering.
Very
because
sobering. Absolutely.
I think we're very fortunate that only a very limited number of people passed away. When we were home that night, I remember we couldn't hear anything. We couldn't get any radio. It was a horrible, horrible night. We knew the fires. We could see the fires from where we live. You can actually, I thought they were probably in Kaanapali, I think. And just guessing, you thought Lahaina right away.
Yeah, I thought Lahaina, but I thought it was up in the hills where it's burned before.
Yeah.
Never thinking it would be downtown Lahaina.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that by itself was unbelievable. But I think, again, the whole day had to have been hard for people. It was very windy. It rained a lot. At some point it started raining.
It was.
But not enough.
It was so windy, I mean, you couldn't stand up, you know.
Yeah.
It's, when it's blowing 50, 60 miles an hour or more, you know, that's just about hurricane force winds.
And we've talked about this on the radio before. But, you know, again, when you think about it and everything that happened, if it wasn't for the majority of the restaurants closing, and we were afraid that the number would have been monumental compared to 100.
Oh, absolutely.
But it would have been if they hadn't closed Front Street down. And it really was almost closed down by then. The restaurants were closed.
Well, there was no electricity, so there was no way the restaurants could open, and they ended up canceling reservations and so forth, which kept people out of Lahaina.
Yes, it did.
It was really a godsend in that respect.
Except for traffic, because a lot of people ended up caught in traffic and then had to leave their cars. And a lot of those were the people that ended up in the water because there was nowhere to go by then.
Or trapped in their cars. You know.
Or trapped in their cars.
Yeah. I mean, the heat was so intense, you know. We've heard people with safes in their homes had the safes basically evaporate. You know, they're just... the heat was so intense. You know, you think you can store money, valuable papers, and so forth in a safe. Maybe not necessarily so, because this fire proved it.
I guess it did. I mean, because, you know, for all of us, if you think about it, we need to have copies of documents maybe in another place other than just our home. You know, things that we have that we want to always have and always be able to get to. Birth certificates, wedding certificates, anything that's an important document.
Yeah.
And so many people lost all of those documents. Very difficult.
Oh, very difficult. And I mean, there's a lot of sad stories too. We know of one, a busboy who had a family home. The home was old and needed remodeling. He saved his cash tips for many years. And he had just about $50,000 in cash in a safe at the house. And the cost of remodeling, what he wanted to do, he was going to be doing a lot of the work himself and with some friends. But the total cost was about $50,000, and he had just about saved all of it. And then the fire happened, and you know, all the money in the safe was gone. I mean, it was burned completely.
He thought it was safe.
And no insurance. So, you know, I haven't heard if the family is deciding to sell the lot or what, but that's another sad circumstance.
Because in a way, you'd like to hang on no matter what.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, as a family, maybe everybody has to go on title or do whatever you can do to make it work for the family.
Right. And, you know, I mean, the general public really rallied, you know, during this fire and so forth, and the aftermath. Look at the owner of the golf courses at Kapalua. You know, he hopped into it right away and tried to figure out what he could do to help the community. And he came up after a lot of discussion, and we were looking at different sites. And
the owner of the golf course, you're saying?
Right,
yes.
Yeah. And we negotiated with several landowners and so forth, but then, you know, trying to get the infrastructure, the utilities and so forth, just didn't work out timing-wise. And he found out that 46 of his 150 employees had lost their homes in the fire. And he wanted to do something, and tasked myself and a few others with trying to find a site to do something. Arranged with Daiwa House Homes out of Japan to supply these modular homes. And we were finally successful in doing the Kapalua Village Project with
50 homes.
50 modular homes.
Amazing.
Right. Yeah, it's 22 bedrooms, 15 3 bedrooms, 15 4 bedrooms. So 50 homes in total. And, occupancy hasn't been a problem. I'm proud to say we're losing some of the renters right now because they're moving back into their homes that have been rebuilt. And that is fantastic.
That's absolutely the best story of all.
That is so heartwarming. You don't mind losing tenants on that basis.
No, not at all.
You
It's
know.
the best, really.
Yeah.
And the homes are great. They were built in a way, number one, they were totally furnished. Everything came with them. So that they had appliances, they had furniture, televisions, anything you needed
Air
was
conditioning.
original. Air conditioning, everything was there.
Right.
They're small, and the bedrooms were tiny. I mean, I look at it, and the first thing I thought was closets. But, I mean, you walked in there, and you knew that they were clean and nice, and you could make it work if you had to do
solid,
that.
not
And solid building.
Yeah, right.
It felt safe, and it still does.
Yeah. Daiwa House is one of the largest modular home builders in Japan. And through the owner of the golf course and through Daiwa House, it was just fantastic.
Everything about them is fantastic,
Right.
really. They're clean, they're nice, and most of the people there are your friends. You've
Yeah.
known them for a long, long time.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
So to a certain extent, again, it's a very friendly, great, perfect neighborhood to live in.
We could live
We
there
could live there in a minute.
Yeah.
Yes, it would be fun
with our cats.
with our cats.
Yeah, but
We-
it's what a project, and it took a while. This coming August will be 1 year since the completion of the project, and people have started moving in a year ago, and so time flies.
It really does. Time flies, and it is great to see those homes. And I think they'll be available for a while now. I mean, for what is it, up to 7 years?
Yeah, initially it was
originally
a
5.
5-year
Mhm.
temporary housing development. It was extended to 7 years, and we'll see.
I think it is great. It's perfect. And again, because most of these people all know one another, I can only envision evening that there's some barbecues from time to time, or mornings when people get up and are just walking around. It's really a sweet, sweet, wonderful
Oh,
neighborhood.
absolutely.
It's the old first hole of the village course.
Of the village golf course.
Anyone that played the
Right.
village golf course can remember the first hole,
Yeah.
which personally I loved.
And one big thing, there was no county, state, or federal money involved. The owner of the golf courses paid for it out of his own pocket, every penny.
Which is the best to begin with. I mean, it wasn't someone that just made promises. When he said he was doing it, he did it. His architect, I'm drawing a blank on the architect, but he really came in and helped a lot.
Oh, no, it was
The builder.
well, we had Adam Kaspersky
Yes,
as
he helped.
our architect.
Hmm.
Adam was one of the. Adam lost his father in the fire. Sad to say, but he has stepped up. He has offered the citizens and residents of Lahaina basically free building plans if you want to rebuild in the fire zone. And hats off to Adam.
Absolutely.
Adam and his crew.
Yeah.
And, everybody involved in the development of that village, Kapalua Village Project. Fantastic job.
Really, I agree. And so much time was put in on it. And I think that by itself is huge because, I mean, everybody lost. Everybody lost business. Everybody lost the ability to work because everything came to a standstill. But for a lot of those same people, it really got them also started again because they were able to come in and help out the community as they did.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It was the best.
No, it's, again, it's a community effort, and let's not forget there were people up in Kula also who were affected by the fire. There were quite a few homes burned in Kula. So, it wasn't all Lahaina. Lahaina, of course, has gotten the most attention, but also residents in Kula were totally affected.
Yes, it was hard. It was hard on everybody. To get off a little bit of this, we were driving over and we were talking about different market things that are going on right now, and I think we're going to be coming up to a warning soon. They're nodding to us right now. But the...
Well, one thing that's going on, and it's been a hot controversial topic real estate-wise on Maui, and that's been the Minatoya list.
Yes.
And legislation that would be banning vacation rentals, short-term vacation rentals in apartment zone properties. And it's become a real political football. It's polarized the community, and unfortunately, there have been threats against both sides, which is, come on, let's be able to discuss this intelligently, and no matter which side you're on, be open about it. Be willing to discuss, but be also willing to listen.
Be open because, first of all, these homes were originally built in apartment zoning, but at some point they realized that they really weren't homes that were going to be for the typical resident that has one or two jobs here. They were smaller. There were studios, there were small one bedrooms, there were large one bedrooms, larger two. There were all sorts of things. But again, they fairly quickly ended up doing short-term rentals and got a change in the zoning so that they could continue to do short-term rentals.
Well, they weren't, they didn't change the zoning. They, under the Minatoya ruling, they were allowed to vacation rent in apartment zoned properties. And so, it's, again, become a hot topic, very controversial. The county council can't agree, although they did agree in majority to pass it on to the full council. We had a lot of discussion, which was great, a lot of public discussion, a lot of discussion amongst the council members. And what it's led to, though, is the Housing and Land Use Committee voted 6-3 to disallow vacation renting in apartment zone properties. And it'll come before the full council, which is, the same members of the committee are at the full council. But I expect this to be probably bandied around for quite a bit.
I think it will be.
Some amendments will be offered.
Right.
And we'll see the end result.
But I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair to the people who came in and bought a lot of these properties because of the Minatoya Act, and they could do short-term rentals. And maybe that's enough said for now. But I think it is going to be an argument by everybody for a long time to come.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And in the meantime, we've seen condominium prices suffer.
Homes going up?
Yeah, single-family homes. What's amazing, we've got over 200 properties in escrow right now. So even though the market in the condos are a little soft, the single families are still holding value and increasing. So, we'll see.
It is. It's just going to be difficult, but it is. You've got to all remember, it's got to be fair for everybody.
Yeah.
And we all should think about that. And we have Danny Coach.
Stay tuned for future shows. We'll discuss this more.
Yeah, I think we will.
All right.
Aloha, and thank you for listening.
And when I come back to